Hi, my name is Ross, and I had a spinal cord injury when I was 15 years old, and that was about 20 years ago. And I've always been interested in building a hot rod, and I've always been interested in trucks. And so I decided to build a 1956 Chevy pickup, and I have a shop set up so that I could do that. So I have done all the work on this vehicle myself, and I think that being in a wheelchair has not prohibited me from doing this work, including removing the original engine and suspension components and dropping in a late model small block engine and rear axle and rear suspension, all that stuff. I bought myself an engine hoist, and that has allowed me to move large components of the vehicle, the engine, the rear axle, and things like that. So I've set up my shop so it makes it easier for me to work on my vehicle. I've got a fairly large shop, and I do probably spend just as much time working on my truck as I do keeping it clean, and that way I have lots of room to move around, and I'm not tracking a lot of dirt and metal dust into the house. So I've got a lot of my tools set up so that everything is easy reach. So a lot of my stuff I have down below, and I keep my benches clean so that I can lots of workspace. And I've got a nice big air compressor, and like I said, a lot of my tools are down low. I don't have a lot of stuff up high, and some of my other pieces that I need for storage I hang from the roof, so that just makes it a little bit more easy to move around in the garage. So one thing I've discovered at my local Canadian Tire were these little toolboxes, and they make them extremely easy to haul tools around on my lap. So I've categorized my tools. So this fits perfectly on my lap, and I think these things are about $12 or $13, and I can just take them around. They fit perfectly. They're narrow. They fit through a doorway, and I can move them down and off the floor, on the floor, and I think this is kind of a neat product. So one of the other things I've discovered, I took a welding course, and they make you wear a lot of safety equipment, and I found this welding apron. It's made of leather, but it's fantastic for keeping yourself clean when you're in a seating position. So anytime you're working on with tools, put your apron on, and it will keep you clean from your chest all the way down to your legs. So another point to mention is I usually wear good quality mechanics gloves. They're about $40 from any hardware store, and they have a nice usually suede or leather that protects your hands and keeps your hands clean from oil and grease and all that stuff. The other thing, I don't use a creeper when I'm going underneath the vehicle. I found that just having a cheap piece of carpet works just as well. Creepers usually raise you up 3 or 4 inches as well, and they're not really long enough to hold your legs, so they're not that useful for me. So I just have a little cheap piece of carpet, and so when I'm underneath the vehicle, I'll just roll it up, pull it out, and then transfer down. If I need to work down here. So one thing I found to be extremely handy to reach items of medium size that might be on the upper shelves is I think it's called a cherry picker. So I'm sure you can buy these at the medical supply stores, and they just allow me to reach things that might be a little bit too high for me to reach. Then I'm not trying to lean over too far or hurt myself. So one thing I would suggest that you make sure you do is, if you're building a hot rod, make sure that you're going to be able to get in and out comfortably, and you've got some place to put your chair, because some vehicles of some vintages aren't very wheelchair friendly. 30s cars were built and the cabs were extremely small. So make sure that you go and test out what you're going to buy so that you can get in and out. I don't know if that would work or not. Works pretty good.